In this episode, we showcase the international boats and their unique features on display at the Anacortes Boat Show. We are Malcolm and Rachel, and welcome to our channel. We share everything about our retirement lifestyle.
All right, so some of the boats that were at the show were actually European designs. Some of them are starting to be built, I think, in North America, but many of them are still being built in Europe. And well, actually, there's also there was one from New Zealand.
Yeah, which is really interesting. And it's something that I like to see, because even before we went to this boat show, I was looking online, of course, for boats, which I do almost every day. And I was looking in New Zealand, Australia, because they are obviously islands or big continents that are surrounded by water. And they do manufacture a lot of aluminum boats.
Yeah.
So it was really good to see this boat. Now it's
Makaira.
Makaira.
I think that's how you say it, Makaira.
Yeah. It wasn't a very large boat.
This was another aluminum constructed boat.
Makaira boats are designed and built in New Zealand. Their line of boats include both inboard and outboard models. The newest Gen 3 is the world's first plate aluminum hull with a Carolina flare and unique sport fishing look. Benefits of this flared hull mean a softer and dry ride. Makaira offers a lifetime hull warranty on these robust aluminum offshore boats, and even the cleats and railings are welded to the structure of the boat. The Gen 3 800 outboard model can take up to 350 horsepower. You can see the quality of the craftsmanship in the welding. The cabin is well equipped, but fairly small. It has the usual layout for this style of boat, with a dinette to port and galley to starboard, and V-berth in the bow. There is, however, no separate head, but a plumbed electric toilet in the V-berth.
It's all welded boat. It's got a good power to weight sort of ratio. It looked like it was very seaworthy. A lot of the features, the salon was a bit short, and that was really, it was, again, probably a boat that was a bit short for what we're looking for, but a very capable boat as it relates to just coming into the coastal waters.
It had really high hull at the front, so
did.
That is more of an offshore hull design that is appealing to us, for sure.
Yeah, and it comes in at, I think, a reasonable price point, too. So it's they're just trying to get into the market, and I think it's a good boat to start getting into the market for those New Zealand makers.
And actually interesting, because the Canadian dollar is obviously weaker than the American dollar, but it is stronger than the New Zealand or the Australian dollar. So we can use that to our advantage. But anyway, that's something to think about, and then certainly an option.
And the next boat we looked at was a boat from Finland. And it wasn't just one. There was 3 boats, all from Finland, called Targa. I've seen a Targa 37 in Victoria Harbour, and it catches the eye.
It's unique in its look.
It really is. You can kind of see that European flair, and it looks like a boat that's being built by people who know how to operate boats in sort of the oceans.
Yeah.
It's very different in design when you look at it. It looks almost like a bow rider.
And I think they've sort of, I'm just going to interject, they've thought outside the box. You know, we always think, oh, there should be a bedroom in the hull, and everything should be in a certain order, but they've actually mixed things up and made it kind of interesting.
They really did. I mean, let's take the 27 as an example. We talked to the representative there as well, but we went on the 27 thinking this is going to be, constricted and small and difficult. Well, you get into it, and the first thing you notice is once you walk through the cockpit, you're going up and into the salon. The front of the boat is not the master stateroom. The front of the boat is a huge head with a stand-up shower, hatch on top, lots of room. It was impressive what they'd done, and that's a 27-foot boat. The back of the boat, what they've done is the walkway that gets you from the cockpit or
from the salon to the cockpit?
Yeah, it actually folded up sideways, and you go down under
into quite a
huge actually.
Stateroom
because it's beam to beam.
Yeah.
So it's a very large and accommodating room. So it was, you initially go onto it, you think, this isn't going to be a really big boat. It is going to be cramped. But once you're in it, and you get a very different view.
And in the salon, they had surfaces where you could lift up the top, and underneath is the cooktop, and it was all really sort of, not industrial, but it was really solid design. It didn't seem flimsy at all.
And it looked polished in the sense that, I mean, not everything was shiny, but it looked well finished. Even, the railing around the outside of the boat, which normally you'll see stainless and aluminum, and that's pretty much the standard. This was teak. Now, I'm not usually a fan of teak because it weathers and turns gray, but this teak was about this thick all the way around the boat. and it was on top of stainless steel. So it looked really good, and the boats, from what I understand, we didn't get to go out on one, operate very well in seakeeping. So when you're out there
They have
in
a good
the
weight to
chop,
them.
you're going to be comfortable when you're running.
The next size up is Targa's 30-foot model, a little bigger and a little bit more room. Depending on the engine choice, the 30.1 has a cruising speed of 20 to 30 knots and a top speed of 42 knots. The layout is slightly different with cabin access on either side. There are 3 berths in the lower level as well as a separate head. Again, it has a bow rider style in the front with teak accent. The 30.1 model offers a wide array of design solutions that showcase Targa's attention to detail, from the classic switchable helm instrument mount to the teak detailing around the cockpit. With a separate V-berth in the front and remaining 2 berths and head in the back, there's sure to be plenty of space for a family.
So it was refreshing to see a boat like that. Again, a Finnish boat, made in Finland, but the Targa and the ones we went on were 30 and 27. Quite a good boat for those that are looking for coastal cruising.
Yeah.
Targa boats are designed and built in western Finland. The Targa brand produces what they call sea SUVs and trawler boats. Targa has excellent performance and reliability as evidenced by its choice by rescue services, Coast Guard, and police. These high-performance fiberglass boats have a pretty impressive fleet. Ranging from 23 feet up to 46 feet, each vessel can be customized with various inboard engines and crafted with care. The smallest at 23 feet is a day trip or fishing boat, with a cruising speed of 21 to 28 knots and a top speed of 44 knots. The flagship of the fleet and largest is 46 feet, the biggest and most powerful Targa to date and the pinnacle of offshore boating excellence. Its cruising speed of 22 to 32 knots and top speed of up to 41 knots is pretty impressive for a boat this size.
The next international boat, also from Finland, is called Sargo, and they had a Sargo 33 model there, and it was really quite a luxurious 33-foot boat. It had really nice skylight in the top.
And it was actually more than a skylight, so the whole top of the cockpit or salon would slide back.
It was like a moonroof then.
It was.
Yeah,
it was huge.
But anyway, it was really luxurious, and it had very good finishes.
Yes.
If I remember correctly, there was a V-berth and a huge aft cabin, as well as a full stand-up bathroom with a separate shower.
Yeah.
So that was actually very interesting.
It was.
And I think, the price tag maybe reflected that, but it was still a really interesting option. And
one we hadn't seen. One we hadn't seen
before, never been on it.
Sargo is another well-known European boat builder from Finland. They are seaworthy and solid, built to withstand all kinds of weather. Their sporty handling and responsiveness makes them fun to drive with uncompromised safety. Much like Targa, Sargo also supplies performance vessels for police, rescue, and commercial use. They produce vessels from 28 to 45 feet in length. The offshore Sargo 33 can be powered by a single 400 or twin 400 horsepower. The cabin and cockpit have unmistakable Scandinavian flair with clean lines, ergonomics, and practical details. The full walk-around on both sides and around the bow enable easy access around the boat. Stylish details include teak in the cockpit and quality interior finishes. Entering from the stern, the salon is well appointed with comfortable dinette to port, an amazing retractable sunroof, and galley to starboard with flip-up hinged cover. The rear berth to port steps down 3 steps and opens to a huge wide berth, and there is a closet for storage or optional second head. Moving forward to the bow, there's a V-berth with an overhead openable hatch, and to starboard a stand-up head with separate shower. Overall, the Sargo 33 is a very well-equipped vessel.
So the next one it's a little interesting. It's called SeaPiper.
Yeah.
It's of a Danish origin. So the design was really started in Denmark. The individual who designed it was launching his North American premiere of the boat at the Anacortes Boat Show.
And he was there. We talked to him.
So we were able to sit down and actually talk to him about some of the decisions and how he came to designing things for that boat. How the bimini work, which may sound interesting, but this boat is interesting in how it's designed.
It was, I think, was it 8.5-foot beam?
Yes, it was.
And it was quite long, but it was actually trailerable, a trailerable trawler, and very interesting how you get on midship, and it's basically like a deck at that point. If you go to the rear, you enter the main cabin, and that's where they had the helm, as well as a kitchen, a step-down kitchen, and then you can go out to the back to the cockpit. If you go back out to the midship where you came on and go forwards, there's an enclosed cabin in the front.
With a head.
With a head, that's right. So it was very interesting design. They had very thoughtful use of space where it would double as something else. So each area had its own really unique features.
It did. So, the particular owner that owned this boat was on it, and we were able to talk to him too. And he liked the front cabin because the front cabin obviously was separated from the rest of the boat, so individuals could go and sleep there. But he had more people that he wanted to stay on the boat, so the designer accommodated and put bunks that you could remove. So bunks were set up in the salon.
In the salon,
You could have 4 more people sleeping in the salon.
That's a lot of people.
The other thing is that the swim platform actually folded down. So there's a big swim platform that was up, and it just went down on a winch basically, and gave you a big flat area at the rear of the boat.
I believe it came up to accommodate the dinghy.
Yes.
That's why that owner had that option there.
The SeaPiper 37 turns heads because it's different from most boats, and some might say a little funky. The SeaPiper brand was first founded in December 2014 out of a desire to create something special, a compact, seaworthy boat with impeccable range and minimal maintenance needs, all packaged in a comfortable, economical, and trailerable cruise. Rizzo Mantinga, the original creator and designer of SeaPiper, sketched the first drawing on a napkin while on a flight. The vision centered around a new trawler design with a nod to the styling of the old Dutch fishing boats and trawlers found in the North Sea. The result is a trailerable trawler with character. As of 2023, the SeaPiper 37 is now being built in Anacortes, Washington. The layout is focused on a 60-square-foot mid-cockpit, serving as the heart of the vessel. Positioned forward are the stateroom and head, while aft features the pilot house, salon, and galley. This mid-cockpit not only offers ample storage, but also serves as a comfortable hub for passengers to enjoy their cruise. Towards the stern, a compact aft cockpit with 2 seats and a swim step facilitates easy water access. The SeaPiper is well suited for boating adventures, providing plenty of space for attaching kayaks, paddleboards, and fishing gear, which ensures a versatile and enjoyable experience on the water.
What I will say about the boat is it looked almost like a mini Nordhaven.
It really did, and even had a similar color.
Yeah. So the front of the hull, the colors, the stripe, the railing, if you didn't know and just looked at the front of it, you'd say, that's a mini Nordhaven.
This is a redesigned Nordhaven.
Yeah, and this boat was heavy.
Yeah.
It had ballast in it, and apparently the owner that had it uses it to go out and do some diving. So it's a very versatile boat, but really interesting to talk to this, the premier of this boat and talk to the designer. So it was fascinating. I could have stayed there for a lot longer.
The next international boat was electric. The Eelex 8000 is fully electric and claims to offer high performance without noise or fossil fumes. With a 170 kilowatt motor and a 126 kilowatt battery capacity, it will reach a speed of 30 knots and a cruising speed of about 20 knots. The boat is built around the center console helm and with open areas and seating for a fun day on the water. There are many configurations for fishing, diving, water sports, or simply socializing. The iconic Scandinavian design has clean lines and a minimalist feel. It uses sustainable materials like this cork deck and colors inspired by nature. The Eelex 8000 has a maximum range of 100 nautical miles at lower speed.
The last type of boat that was international design was called Skamander. I hope I'm saying that right. And it was a Polish design.
Parker, Poland is sold as Skamander in North America by Hussar Yachts. It has a line of fiberglass boats ranging from smaller bow riders to slightly bigger weekend-style boats and up to larger pilot house-style boats. The 920 Explorer Max is the largest pilot house boat with a sliding aft door designed for comfortable day trips, weekend cruises, and overnight stays. At 34 feet long and a beam of 9'2", it specifies engine power as a single 400 horsepower or twin 225 horsepower outboards. The one we saw had twin 250s. The layout has dinette to port and galley and helm to starboard. There are 2 berths, both accessed in the bow, as well as a separate head. The cockpit is a generous size to accommodate up to 10 people. The flexibility in design means it can be easily configured as a water sport/fishing boat or adapted fairly quickly to more of a touring boat for a family with social and comfortable modular-based seating in the aft.
Yeah, they have a different design, in the European market, and I think it's good that it's coming over to the North American market because some of those features will hopefully find their way into these North American boats and vice versa. So it may be a good mixing. But seeing these Finnish and Dutch boats showing up was really an extra bonus for going to this boat show, which I didn't expect, but added to our knowledge as to what's out there in the marketplace.
And it really shows a nice wide variety of design options and sizes of boats. There's just really a lot of good features.
Agreed.
So thanks for watching our episode on international boats at the Anacortes Boat Show. Leave a comment, let us know what you think of these boats. Join us next time for a look at some larger luxury yachts, including American Tug, Sabre, Coastal Craft, North Pacific, and Nordhaven. See you next time.